Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Mr. Ainsworth, and we're going to get into our part four in our series of how to simplify a fraction to a negative power, involving a little multiplication and addition too as well. That's why it's called fraction to a negative power and simplifying, because there's more work to be done. So this is the most challenging out of the four parts. Let's get right into it and show you how it's done, okay? And let's start off with base 1/2, okay? We're going to be working with base 1/2, 1/3, 1/4, and 1/5. All right, so here we go. Anytime you see a fraction, okay, to a negative power, it can be done in many different ways. However, one of the ways that I found to be easy to learn for students is to first interpret the negative right here, this negative power, um, as a reciprocator. Okay, it reciprocates the fraction 1/2. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to reciprocate the fraction first. You're going to see me do that every single time. Okay, it even works for whole numbers too. Whatever's inside the parentheses here, which is called the base, all right, just reciprocate that first when you take it to a negative power, and then raise it to the fourth power, okay, or the third power, or the second power, and so on. All right, reciprocate, invert. Okay, and we know the reciprocal 1/2 is 2. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this right here. Let's highlight it. Okay, I'm going to take this right here and we're going to reciprocate it first. I want to write it as 4 times, okay, 2 to the fourth power. All right, 2 to the fourth power and then minus 1. So we're going to reciprocate the fraction first, then take it to the power every single time. It works no matter what the fraction is in here, and it also works for whole numbers too. All right, you can reciprocate a whole number easily. So we're always going to do that. And then we're going to follow the order of operations. 2 to the fourth is 16, so we have 4 times. All right, 16 minus 1, which is 64 minus 1, or 63. Okay, now you guys should be good at the powers of 4. Okay, we worked with powers of 4, and you should know that 4 times 16 is 64, and then minus 1, you get 63. We're going to do that every single time. So here we go. We're going to reciprocate the fraction first. So we have 4 times 2 to the third power minus 1. That's 4 times 8 minus 1, or 32 minus 1, or 31. Okay, remember the powers of 2. So 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256. You remember the drill, guys, okay? 512, 1024. Powers of 2. So as you get good at that, taking 2 to a power is easy. All these exercises should be easy, with the exception of the ones involving a little bit of simplifying, okay? We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so here we got 2 to the second power, so 4 times 2 squared minus 1. That's 4 times 4 minus 1. 4 times 4 is 16, so we have 16 minus 1, or 15. Now we have 4 times 4 to the first minus 1. That's just 16 minus 1. Excuse me, I didn't say that correctly. 4 times 2. Excuse me, 4 times 2 to the first minus 1. That's 8 minus 1. Ooh, caught my mistake there. Which is 7. Okay, and then here any fraction to the 0 power is 1, so we have 4 times 1 minus 1. 4 minus 1 is 3, especially today. Okay, all right. And then here comes the simplifying part. 1/2 to the first power is a half minus 1. Look in red here. 2 into 4 is 2, right? Times 1 is 2. 2 minus 1, well, that is just 1, all right? 2 minus 1 is 1. So you simplify and then subtract, okay? Multiply and then subtract. Okay, 1/2 to the second power. Okay, you got to square both the numerator and denominator. So 4 times, okay, 1 squared divided by 2 squared minus 1. Well, 1 squared divided by 2 squared is 1/4. So this is 4 times 1/4 minus 1. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1 minus 1. You get 0. So 4 times 1 cubed is 1. 2 cubed, well, that's 8, right? 2, 4, 8. So it's 8 minus 1. Simplify. Okay. So simplify. 4 into 4 is 1. 4 into 8 is 2. So you get 1/2 minus 1. which is negative 1/2. Okay, there's that simplifying part that I'm talking about here. Divide both by 4, and 4/8 is 1/2. 1/2 minus 1 is negative 1/2. And then here we have 4 times. 1 to the 4th is 1. 2 to the 4th is 16. All right. Ooh, plus 1. I forgot to change that. Don't worry about it. Just go with the flow. All right. 4/16 is 1/4. All right. 1/4 plus 1. 1/4 plus 1 is 1 1/4. So 1 1/4. And that is how it's done. You just got to get good at it. Okay. And the numbers change, but the concepts don't. All right. So let's go through it some more. Okay. We're going to reciprocate the fraction first. So it's going to be 8 times 2 to the 4th minus 3 this time. Okay, so you go from here, right here, to here. Reciprocate first. Okay, reciprocal 1/2 is 2, and then raise it to the 4th power. Okay, so what you have is 2 times 16 here minus 3. Excuse me, 8 times 16 minus 3. That's 80 and 48. That's 128. So it's 128 minus 3, or 125. All right, you got to multiply before you subtract. Next one, we have 8 times 2 cubed minus 3. That's 8 times 8 minus 3, or 64 minus 3, which gives you 61. So you always reciprocate first. Notice here, the reciprocal 1/2 is 2, and then you take it to the 3rd power. Okay, and then on this one, you have 8 times 2 squared minus 3, which is 8 times 4 minus 3. You get 32 minus 3, or 29. Then 8 times 2 minus 3, which is 16 minus 3, or 13. And then here, this is 1. 8 times 1 minus 3, which is just 5. That's an easy one. Any fraction to a power is 1. Okay, remember that? So let's highlight that here. This one and this one. Okay, when you take a fraction to a power, it's 1. Any non-zero number raised to the 0 power is 1. Okay, next one, we have 8 times 1/2 minus 3. All right, divide first. 2 into 8 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4, minus 3 is 1. Here, 8 times 1/4 minus 3. Simplify first. 4 into 8 is 2. All right, 2 times 1 is 2, minus 3. 2 minus 3, that's just negative 1. Here we have 8 times 1 divided by 2 cubed, or 8, minus 3. You divide, boom, you get 1. 8 times an eighth is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Minus 3 is negative 2. So 1 minus 3 is negative 2. Just stepping it out here, right? And then we have 8 times 1/16. 2 to the 4th power is 1/16. Excuse me, 1/2 raised to the 4th power is 1/16, because 1 to the 4th is 1, 2 to the 4th is 16. Okay, do a little simplifying here. 8 and 8 is 1, 8 and 16 is 2. So you get 1/2 minus 3. So 1/2 minus 3, and that's negative 2 and 1/2. All right, so you got to do a lot of simplifying, but that's part of the goal here, is to get really good at arithmetic, so when we go to exponential functions, you can handle it. All right, now base 1/3, here we go. So here we go, reciprocate first, right? So you have 3 times 3 to the 4th minus 1. Now base 3, 3, 9, 27, 81, 243. I'm dyslexic here. So let me change all that. 243. There we go. All right, so powers of 3. When you reciprocate 1/3, you have 3, so you have to know your powers of 3, and you guys do, okay? Because we practice that all the time. Or so reciprocate first. All right, so let me see, 3 times 81 minus 1. That's 243 minus 1, or 242. All right, 3 times 3 cubed minus 1. 3 times 27, right? 3 cubed is 27, minus 1. That's 81 minus 1, or 80. 3 times 3 squared minus 1 is 3 times 9 minus 1, or 28. All right, so you have to know your basic skills. That's why we warm up every day with the powers of 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this next one here, we got 3 times 3 to the first, which is just 3 minus 1. 9 minus 1 is 8. Here this is 1, so you have 3 times 1 minus 3, which is just 2. 3 times the third minus 1. These cancel, right? 3 into 3 is 1. 1 minus 1, that's just 0. Here we have 3 times 1/9 minus 1. Divide both by 3, and you get 1/3 here, minus 1. So 1/3 minus 1 is negative 2/3. Small minus big is always negative, remember that. Here we have 3 times 1/27 minus 1. Divide both by 3, and you get 1/9 minus 1, which is equal to negative 8/9. And this next one, we have 3 times 3 to the 4th, which is 1/81 minus 1. Looks hard, but we know that if you look at your powers of 3 right here, 27 times 3 is 81. That means 81 divided by 3 is 27. Okay, so it helps to know your powers, right? So you divide both by 3, and you get 1/27 minus 1. So 1/27 minus 1 is negative 26/27. Okay? Know your powers. Okay, so now let's take a look at this next one here. We got 6 times, all right, 3 to the 4th minus 2. So 6 times 3 to the 4th, that's 81. So 81 minus 2. That's 688. Excuse me, 680. No, 6 times 8 is 480, so 486. So 486 minus 2, 44. So 484. There we go. So 6 times 3 cubed minus 2. 6 times 27 minus 2. It's times here. It's 120 and 42, so 162. So 162 minus 2, 160. This is 6 times 3 squared minus 2. 6 times 9 minus 2. 54 minus 2 is 52. Here we have 6 times 3 to the first minus 2. 18 minus 2 is 16. 6 times 1 minus 2 is 4. 6 times the third minus 2. 3 and a 6 is 2, times 1 is 2, minus 2 is 0. Going through basics here. All right, doing great, hopefully. And then we have 6 times 1/9 minus 2. Divide both by 3. We get 2 here, 3 here. So we get 2/3. 6/9 is 2/3. So we get 2/3 minus 2. That's negative 1 1/3. Small minus big is always negative. Small minus big equals a negative number. Remember that. And then we have 6 times 1/27 minus 2. Divide both of these by 3. So you have 2/9 minus 2. So 2/9 minus 2 is negative 1 7/9. Okay, get good at your fractions and your simplifying that come up all the time. And then here we have 6 times 1/81 minus 2. Divide both by 3. You get 2 up here, 27 here. All right, so you have 2/27. All right, minus 2. That's negative, so negative 1 and 25/27. Okay, that's base 3. Let's switch to base 4. Excuse me, base 1/4. Okay, so starting with 1/4 to the 4th, reciprocate first, right, as I keep saying. So it's 4 times something. Reciprocal of 1/4 is 4, so 4 to the 4th. So let's write it down once again. Reciprocate first. Okay, so 4 times 16 minus, no, it's not 16, 4 to the 4th. Let's do powers of 4 on the side. So 4, 16, 64, 256, times 4. I don't think I went beyond 256 times 4, but that's 1,024. So 1,024. That's powers of 4. 4 to the first, 4 squared, 4 cubed, 4 to the fourth, 4 to the fifth. Okay, so it's 4 times 256 minus 2. 4 times 256 is 1,024 minus 2. This is 1,022. This one here is 4 times 1/64. 4, excuse me, that's incorrect. Got to reciprocate 1/4, that's 4 cubed, minus 2. It's 4 times 64 minus 2. And that's 256 minus 2, or 254. It's 256 right here, minus 2, 254. 4 times 4 squared minus 2 is 4 times 16 minus 2, or 62. This is 4 times 4 minus 2, which is 16 minus 2 is 14. It's 4 times 1 minus 2, or 2. There's my puppy right there. Okay, and then we have 4 times 1/4 minus 2. Simplify. 1 minus 2 is negative 1. 4 times 1/16 minus 2. Simplify. You get 1/4 here. So we have 1/4 minus 2 is negative 1 3/4. Negative 1 3/4. Let me put it right there. You guys see it better. There we go. Negative. Okay, so here we have 4 times 1/64 minus 2. Simplify. Divide both by 4. So what we get is 1/16 minus 2, or negative 1. Come on, Ainsworth. So negative 1 15/16. There we go. All right, keeping on going here, we have 2 times 4 to the fourth minus 4. So 2 times 256 minus 4. Let me see, that's 512. 512 minus 4 is 508. 4, oh, and I switched to 2. So we have 2 times 4 cubed minus 4. So 2 times 64 minus 4, that's 128 minus 4, 124. 2 times 4 squared minus 4, which is 2 times 16 minus 4. That's 32 minus 4, or 28. 4 times 4 to the first minus 4. 16 minus 4 is 12. 2 times 1 minus 4 is negative 2. 2 times 1/4 minus 4. Got to simplify the fraction. 2 into 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So you end up with 1/2 minus 4. This is negative 3.5. So we have here 2 times 1/16 minus 4. Divide both by 2. You get 1/8. So 1/8 here minus 4 is negative 3 7/8. Here you have 2 times 1/64 minus 4. So you have 1/32 minus 4. So what is that? So 1/32 minus 4 is negative 3 31/32. Think pizza if you want. Okay. All right. And last one, base 5. Okay, base 1/5. Okay, that's what I meant to say, base 1/5. Remember, we always reciprocate first. So here we go. Let's write that down again. Reciprocate the fraction first. Really, really important, okay? It makes it easier. All right, then take it to the power. So here we have 5 times, 5 to the third power minus 2, which means we need to know our base 5. Okay, so we have 5 times 5 is 25. Oh, come on, Ainsworth. It's 25 times 5 is 125. Times 5 is 625. Okay, this is base 5 right here. 5 to the first, 5 squared, 5 cubed, 5 to the fourth. All right, so we have 5 times 125 minus 2. All right, that's 625 minus 2, or 623. All right, next one, 5 times 5 squared minus 2. That's 5 times 25. So think money, maybe think quarters. 5 quarters is $1.25. So 125 minus 2 is 123. Here we have 5 times 5 to the first minus 2, which is simple. This is just 25 minus 2, or 23. Remember this one, it's 5 times 1 minus 2, which is just 3. Any fraction to the 0 power is 1. All right, we're rocking. 5 times a fifth minus 2. Simplify. 1 times 1 minus 2 is just -1. Here we have 5 times 1/25. 5 squared is 1/25 minus 2. Simplify. Divide them both by 5. You get 1/5 minus 2. So 1/5 minus 2 is -1 4/5. -1 and... Let me rewrite all this. -1 4/5. So -1 4/5. There you go. And then here we have 5 times... Oh, this should be a 5, so change this to a 5. 1/125 minus 2. Forgot to change that, sorry guys. So divide them both by 5, and you get 1/25. 1/25 minus 2, which is equal to -1 24/25. Okay, I gotta fix that one. All right, this is base 1/5. All right, next one here, we have 10 times 5 cubed minus 1. All right, 10 times 125 minus 1 is 1,000, oops, let me say that correctly, 1,250, all right, minus 1, 1,249. Next one, 10 times 5 squared minus 1, which is 10 times 25 minus 1. That's 250 minus 1, or 249. Next one, 10 times 5 to the first minus 1. That's just 50 minus 1, or 49. This is 10 times 1 minus 1, just 9. Here, this is 10 times a fifth minus 1. A fifth of 10 is 2, because 2 times 1 is 2 there. All right, minus 1 is just 1. And this is 10 times 1/25 minus 1. You got to do a little simplifying here. So let's do it. Divide both by 5. So we get 2 here, 5 here. So you have 2/5 minus 1. So 2/5 minus 1 is negative. Well, 1 minus 2/5 is 3/5, right? So it's -3/5. Here we have 10 times 1/125 minus 1. Divide both by 5. Get 2 here, 25 here. So you have 2/25. So 2/25 minus 1, -23/25. All right. All right, and now we deal with the basics here. Base is 2, 3, 4, and 5. So here, this is 1/81. You got to change it to a fraction, so you got to reciprocate first. And there's ways to think about this. You could do it this way. You can reciprocate it first and go 1/3 to the fourth minus 1. And that's 1 divided by 4 to the third, which is 1/81 minus 1, which is -80/81. So you can reciprocate first again if you like. All right, it works. Or you can just convert it to a fraction. Most students, the way I taught originally, think of it as 1 divided by 3 to the fourth, which is 1/81. Okay, base 3. And this is 1/27 minus 1, or -26/27. This is 1/9 minus 1, or -8/9. This is 1/3 minus 1, or -2/3. This is 1 minus 1, or 0. 3 minus 1, 2. 9 minus 1 is 8. 27 minus 1 is 26. 81, excuse me. So 81 minus 1 is 80. Okay, likewise with base 4. So here we go, 1/16 minus 2 is -1 15/16. 1, I didn't say that right. Let me redo that one here. I was looking at 2. So 4 to the fourth is 256. So 256 minus 2 is -255 divided by 256. Well, a -1 in that. So let me change that too. Come on, Ainsworth. There you go. -1 in that, okay? Because it's not -1, it's -2. So this right here is 1/64 minus 2, so negative 1 and 63 64ths. This is 1/16 minus 2, or negative 1 and 15 16ths. This is 1/4 minus 2, or negative 1 and 3/4. 1 minus 2 is just negative 1. 4 minus 2 is 2. 16 minus 2 is 14. 64 minus 2 is 62. And then 256 minus 2 is 254. All right, challenge, but you can do it, okay? Base 5, so this is 1 625ths minus 3. This is negative 2 and 624 625ths. Challenging, okay, and then 1 125ths minus 3 is negative 2 and 124 125ths. And this is 1/25 minus 3, negative 2 and 24 25ths. And 1/5 minus 3 is negative 2 and 4/5. And 1 minus 3, that's just negative 2. 5 minus 3, just 2. 25 minus 3, which is 22. 125 minus 3 is 122. And 625 minus 3, which is 622. Challenging, but if you put your mind to it, I know you guys can do it, okay? And then I think that's it. I think. Let's see. Base 1/5. Ooh, there's more. Holy cow, man. I'm a tough teacher. Okay, so last bit. Here we go. All right, so we're going to reciprocate first. Reciprocate. We'll keep writing this down. All right, first. Let's highlight that. Okay, there we go. So what do we have? We have 2 times 2 cubed plus 4. That's 2 times 8 plus 4. That's 16 plus 4, or 20. Ooh. 8 times 2 to the 4th minus 4. That's 8 times 16 minus 4. That's 80 and 48, 128. So 128 minus 4, 124. Hopefully I'm not making any mistakes because I'm going faster than usual. Okay, you always reciprocate first. Reciprocate first. So we have 9 times 3 squared plus 1. 9 times 9 plus 1 is 81, plus 1 more is 82. Okay, we're rocking. So 27, all right, times 1/27 minus 4. Okay, this is a fraction now. 1 cubed divided by 3 cubed is 1/27. So here, all right, we don't reciprocate because there's no negative power, right? Okay, so you simplify. 27 and 27 is 1, right? And that was my dog. And then 1 times 1, well, you get 1 here. 27 times 1/7 is 1. Minus 4 is negative 3. Here we have 1 times 1/16 minus 1. Well, 2 times the 16th is 2/16, or 1/8. So what's 1/8 minus 1? Well, negative 7/8. Okay, here we have 2 times 5 squared plus 3. All right, we reciprocate first because we got a negative power here. So 2 times 25 plus 3 is 50 plus 3, or 53. Here on this one, we have 4 times 2 to the 1 divided by 2 to the 4th minus 5. And that's 4 times 1/16 minus 5. So you simplify, get 1/4 minus 5. So 1/4 minus 5, that's negative 4 and 3/4. Okay, step it out. Here we have 27 times 1 divided by 3 squared, or 1/9 minus 7. Okay, 9 into 27 is 3. 3 minus 7, negative 4. Okay, here we have 1 divided by 4 cubed minus 3. That equals 8 times, let me see, 1/64 minus 3. So you simplify first. Divide both by 8. You get 1/8 minus 3. So 1/8 minus 3 is negative 2 and 7/8. And then our next one, we have 10 times 1/25 minus 4. Divide both by 5 and you get 2/5. So we have 2/5 minus 4 is -3 and 3/5. Okay, make sure you're good at your fractions. Okay, and this last one, we get 1 divided by 4 squared plus 1. That's 1/16 plus 1, or 1 and 1/16. Okay, so you apply your rules, okay, with negative exponents. All right, so that is a lot of work here, and obviously I go way too fast. Okay, so remember, this is a video, so you pause and play and go back and redo anything you like. Okay, listen to it again as many times as you need to understand the idea. Okay, but these skills are necessary when you work on exponential functions, so do your best here, because it's all needed when you work with exponential functions and graphing. Okay, this is Mr. Ainsworth. I'll see you in my next lesson. Bye-bye.